And welcome back to the Wrap. Before we jump back in, let's jump on board, shall we? Newsmax wants to send one lucky couple on a 7-day Silver Sea cruise to the Caribbean this winter. Obviously, a luxury cruise on the Silver Wind is a trip of a lifetime. You need to enter, however, our sweepstakes. Visit newsmax.com/sweepstakes. That's newsmax.com/sweepstakes to enter. All right, it's potluck time. It's a part of the show. We go around the table, share our favorite stories of the day. Unger, what are you serving up?
Well, I am absolutely fascinated with the story out of Oklahoma today. As some people may know, last week the Oklahoma Supreme Court decided that it was illegal for the Ten Commandments statue, I don't know what you call it, but the Ten Commandments are on the monument, thank you, someone just told me that in my ear, on the grounds of the Oklahoma governor's mansion and where the state legislature is. The court ruled that it's against the state's constitution to have that there, you're looking at it now, because the Constitution prohibits anything that favors or would offend or do anything to one religion or offend another religion. So this was the decision of the Supreme Court. Today, the governor of Oklahoma, Mary Fallin, indicated, and it's important when I say indicated, because she actually doesn't have the power at this point to do anything about this for a reason I'll explain in a moment. She indicated that while she respects the Oklahoma Supreme Court, it's important that we remember that there are two other branches of the Oklahoma government. I have no idea what she means by that, but assumably that means she's not so sure that she wants to enforce this law. Now, all of these grounds are under the control of a state-operated commission. So the lawsuit that brought the decision about is with the commission. So it's up to the commission to remove the monument, as the court has said that they need to do it. What the governor can do, however, is issue an executive order which would prohibit the commission from doing that. If she goes that route, and right now many people think that's what she's setting up, we're looking at an act of civil disobedience that could have chaotic implications. As you wind this through, the expectation would be that the court, when they're seeing that their order is not being honored, would probably cite the governor for violating the court's order, and that could lead to jail in actuality. Wow. So this is a fascinating thing. I have to say that as an American, I, like everybody else, enjoys a good civil disobedience scenario. But this one, when you have a state governor defying the Supreme Court, just like, and we're seeing it on the cases from last week, people running for president, people who were governors, elected officials all over the country saying defy the United States Supreme Court and don't do gay marriage. This is a weird thing that we're getting into, and I think we need to be very, very careful about it.
Noah, your reaction?
No, I think Rick set it up perfectly. The stakes, as he defined them, are really rather clear, and for her to go against the court order like this is nothing short of a dereliction of her responsibility and something probably a little bit worse. This sounds to me like political posturing, is a very disingenuous form, in fact, in order to whip up a frenzy among some people who are being misled by people who are very willing to mislead them, as we discussed last week. This sounds to me like what that is, and it's lamentable, but I don't think it's going to go so far as to actually enforce,
I think you're probably right. Order. I think she will follow the order.
Well, it's very simple. Separation of church and state. If you look at the Ten Commandments, so there's some good ones like thou shalt not kill, but there's a lot that are very specifically religious. So how is it that she could be confused that this is allowable? And why was it even there in the first place? Why was a privately paid for statue with the Ten Commandments, or what it is, some kind of monument, put there on the state grounds to begin with?
See, I'm big on thou shalt not covet, because I do that all the time with Rick's suits. I mean,
well, if I could submit why it's there in the first place, is because this wasn't objectionable a generation ago. Right. I mean, we're undergoing something of a very generational shift in mood. And to force that, as we have been forcing it through the courts, freezes and paralyzes debates. It doesn't make them anybody move forward. It fosters resentment. So I'm wary of that. But this is the law, and when we're talking about the law, you do have to enforce it. So eventually they should acquiesce. But there's social constraints that will be exacerbated.
And by the way, there is potentially a way out of this, which is an amendment to the Oklahoma Constitution, and you may see that take place. If it does take place, you can expect the state court to now take another look at it and say, but does it still violate the United States Constitution?
I think this is good because I certainly hate the idea of what is ought to be. If we say what is ought to be just because it is, then we do not evolve as a culture. That's why we're having this whole battle over the Confederate flag. Because, yes, they've been there, and all of these army bases have been named after Confederate soldiers. And now we're looking at it from a new lens and going, it's not such a great idea.
Well, in Oklahoma, as they say, these things get resolved sooner or later.
I got
because
it.
they're the Oklahoma Sooner and stuff and thing. Anyway,
Can we go to commercial, please?
yes. Yeah, we better go now. Okay, up next, it's time for Yay or Nay. It's happy time. This is the Daily Wrap. We're live from New York City.